Okay, Rob with Next Gen Rider here today. So it's install day for the Chigee, and this is my ride. It's an oldie but a goodie. This is a 2013 F800GS that I ride here in the Philippines. And I also have a Vogue 525 over there, but I don't really care for it. I don't ride it. So I got a friend of mine that rides with me, and he'll ride that. It pretty much sits there. I don't care for it. Anyway, so I'm just going to do some highlights here. I opted to go with kind of a center mount on the bar. So this Chigee's going to turn with the bars. I have this aftermarket nav bar mount that I ordered. I think this is from Motoboxer EU, but it has shake in it, and the Alien Rider's on it. I wasn't going to use it for the Chigee. I knew I didn't want the Chigee up there, so I decided to go ahead, and what I do is bar mount the Chigee and actually leave the Alien Rider on there. I'm sure I'll catch hell for that, but what that's going to allow me to do is do some comparative testing. So back here we have the camera and radar for Alien Rider, and I'll just mount the Chigee camera here. And so we'll be able to compare blind spot detection between LiDAR and vision. And then my front camera, I put these on here never expecting them to stay on too long, so I just kind of slap them on there. I've tried cameras here on the beak, and I've tried them up here on the headlight. I get a little bit of shake, but it'll be okay. I just use these for dash cam. So anyway, wiring is done. My wiring's a bit of a mess. I have Alien Rider driving lights and a couple other things wired in here, so I got kind of a rat's nest. I went ahead and just used Chigee's Vampire Tap and added accessory into one of my accessory leads, and then connected onto my battery here. Space is pretty tight because of the battery being up here where normally there's a gas tank. So now it's just to mount and route the camera wires and then tidy everything up and do cable management. I tested the Chigee. We'll go ahead and power up, demo that. You have to forgive my Harley Davidson splash screen up there. I was testing that for someone on the internet that wanted a splash screen for the Alien Rider, and I haven't changed it back yet. Anyway, so there we go. Chigee's powered up, and we'll carry on. Okay, I'm going to talk about the clamp, the mount here, bar mount, a little bit. You know, Chigee does offer a different clamp that would have allowed it to go up here, but the issue is my shield would be here, and then I wouldn't be able to use the locking mechanism for removal and detachment. So I had to think about that when I mounted down here. With regards to the clamp, so it's kind of a clamshell clamp. It's hinged here, and there's a bolt on the other side. Let me see if I can show that down in there. But my concern with that is that instead of being a traditional 2-bolt mount, it kind of creates a single point of failure. So if the hinge gives or the bolt gives, then you're loose. I did have to use one shim in here. I got a pretty big bar on the BMW, but it required one shim, the thinnest shim. And then here with Chigee's ball mount, they use a pretty small ball mount, and that makes this hardware here on the clamp pretty small. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. I like the manufacturers who opt to go with just a Ram B-type 1-inch ball and give us good solids, and that way we can either go with their clamping system or use an alternate mount and clamping system. But that's what we got with the Chigee. It works, it's good. I'm not, complaining too much, but it's just my preference. So we'll be running both the Chigee and the Alien Rider for a while. Okay, so moving along on the install, I thought this was a good point to kind of stop and shoot a little video and point out some things. So what I've done is I've mounted cameras. I've kind of routed everything up here to the area where I'm going to hide cables. So I got my 2 cameras hooked up, and I got power hooked up. The device is powering up. I opted to just put the other camera here on top of the light module on the left, and the Alien Rider cameras over here on the right. One thing, so there's going to be some don't do what I did here. So I stuck this on here and then realized that my tightening end of the bolt was over here. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just reverse the capture ring. These capture rings have a front and a back, so I can't really do it. But luckily, I can get a wrench on there and I can tighten down the clamp. But it's not ideal. It'd be a heck of a lot easier to come in and do it from this side. Just FYI. Okay. And now, on my rear camera, since I have the Alien Rider camera and LiDAR unit up here, on the nice flat top area, I was kind of like, where do I put this Chigee camera? And I didn't really want to obstruct the LiDAR and create questions there. So I went with this side mount. But the thing is I could be causing myself some problems here. If I need to make adjustments for blind spot detection, my pivot is going to be side to side. I'm not going to have up and down pivot. So I may have to revisit this, but I opted to just go ahead and take the calculated risk and put it there. It looks pretty good in the camera, and we're going to take a look at that now, actually. Let's come around and power on the device. Key on. Okay, so now the Chigee's up. It actually connected with my camera. So here's the front camera. There's my back camera. I can't see much there. Back to the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into DVR and I'm going to show you the front camera for the Alien Rider. And let's see. I'll have to kind of zoom in. Let me zoom. It's going to be kind of hard to see. So there's the front Alien Rider camera, and here is the Chigee front camera. Now, what I can tell you, the color matching is much better on the Chigee camera. The house up here looks yellow. That is not the color. This looks exactly how that house is painted. So these are supposed to be Sony IMX307 cameras. These are not. I think these are Novatech cameras. But as far as color matching, better performance out of the Chigee camera for sure. And it's a nice clear image. I like it. Let's I don't want to, there we go, get rid of the small one. So far pretty happy with the camera. So we'll get on the night ride and see how things look. And but this is looking pretty good. So now all I need to do is hide all this cabling and tie wrap everything up, get all the Tupperware back on the bike, and I will be done. Okay, so the F800GS is done with its Chigee install. Got it mounted here, powered up. So a couple of things. This bracket here is actually putting a slight touch on this cowling, the molding here around the key. I don't really feel it in the steering, but I'm going to come in and hit that with some sandpaper and just get clearance there. I could probably adjust the bracket up, but I like the positioning where the Chigee is, and it's not enough for me to do to change the mounting. I can just take some plastic off, and I don't care. It's an old bike. I'm good with it. Also, this camera here, if I had to do over again, I would have moved it over a little bit to the left. It's a little close to the windscreen. The cable touches. I may revisit that. For now, I'm gonna let it go. And back here, like I mentioned earlier, keep an eye on this. See how the BSD works. Not ideal. Do not do this. Mount your camera properly. A little bit of a workaround. So throw the tank bag on it, see if we need to make a little adjustment there, but I've ran devices there before, should be fine. So there it is, Chigee AIO 6 LTE completely installed on a old ass BMW F800GS. Thanks for watching.